Oh boy, we've got a whole month with the man who's bringing all of this wisdom to us. And of course the question is, how does a boy starting out in Portugal, who became known as Smokin' Joe as a rebellious teen, wind up having such a passion for the Hebraic roots of our Christian faith?
How does that happen? It's sovereign. I never, ever in my wildest dreams thought that I would leave full-time pastoral ministry and be on Christian television on a weekly basis.
Even becoming a pastor, Joe. I mean, that's a miracle
that was
in
a big
itself.
deal, but I dealt with that miracle a long time ago. That was many, many years ago. But never thought that I would travel for my living on a regular basis to Israel. When I went for the first time in the fall of 2002, I assumed, like a lot of believers, I would go, I would see the land, be amazed, see where Jesus walked. Wow, that's really cool. Now I'm going to go home, and have these images in my mind next time I preach. But when I went, what really struck me was the culture. I'm not one of these guys, Jesus put his foot here, I put mine here. Wow, I'm feeling something. Yeah, I'm not looking for any X marks the spot sort of thing. But the culture really got into me. When I saw, people are going to think this is silly, but I saw how Jewish Israel was. Because in my mind, I'd so Romanized Jesus in my teachings at Bible school, in my teachings in the ministry. Hollywood also paints a picture for who Jesus is. He's got a British accent, he's got long,
blue eyes.
Yeah, blue eyes and long blonde hair and all of that. And I said, wow, God, this is a really Jewish country. Jesus was truly Jewish. What does that mean? How can I, as a 21st century North American person, come to the scriptures? I know Jesus, but I didn't know who Yeshua was. And that was the Hebrew way to say his name. And I said, Yeshua. It was so beautiful, and something struck me. And I came back and I decided I need to understand Jesus. Never mind teaching others, I need to know who he is. And so after years of collecting research and interviewing rabbis and talking to Messianic believers and to secular Jewish people and asking them about their culture, I put it all down in this book that we're going to be featuring this month called Understanding Jesus, because I said, Lord, this can't be just for me. That's too selfish. This is like incredible information, Lord. People are going to be drawn to your word. They're going to want to go deeper in their understanding of you. And so just this past year, after almost 6 years of research, we put this together, this book, Understanding Jesus. And my prayer is that people would really understand him better. When we sat down with the editor to come up with a catchy name for the book, he said, what do you want to do with the book? I said, I want people to understand Jesus. He said, done, let's move on to the next topic. Just like that. So I really pray that people will be able to get a copy and focus in and take their time and walk through the feasts of the Bible, and they're going to see Jesus in Passover like they've never understood before. Easter is going to take on an entirely new meaning when they see Jesus as God's Passover lamb.
It's delivering exactly what the title says, Understanding Jesus. And of course, this is our thank you to you this month for allowing us to bring this delicious content every day. What a gift to have you, Joe. I'm surprised you're around for the whole month. You're back and forth.
It worked out.
Do you know your father-in-law was on our flight home from Israel when we returned November of 2008, Clyde Williamson?
I know. I usually have to go to Israel to see my friends because we're so busy here, but you're having a coffee somewhere. Joe, hey, how you doing? And it seems to be, a place where God said the nations would come. And Clyde Williamson, my father-in-law, whom you're speaking of, he is the foundation for the ministry that we're doing today. He, for almost 30 years, silently was going into churches, praying, leaving a foundation, and nobody ever knew who he was. And then I come along, and everybody knows who I am because of the show, but I'm humble and smart enough to know that it took 30 years to build a foundation. Everybody sees the framework. They see the pretty roof, and they see the nice windows, but nobody saw the work that went into making this ministry what it is today. And so I'm grateful to have a praying father-in-law.
Wonderful, and a beautiful dedication to your father,
yes,
who was on his way home
the
last time you and I had an interview together.
My dad, he passed away very recently after a 19-month struggle to a brain tumor, and he knew I was writing the book, but he died just before I was able to finish it, so I put the dedication
Beautiful
to him
tribute.
in there.
Now, just before we let you go, people are still troubled with the mustard seed story. If we have faith, like a mustard seed.
Right, that's tenacious.
We can move mountains?
Yeah.
What on earth do we want to do that for?
Yeah, again, you got to know what a mountain is, right? Understanding the culture. A mountain in the first century culture of Israel was something of an authority. So rabbis and teachers of the law, they were called mountains. And when two rabbis would debate over a scripture, you would say, oh, my mountain is going to crush your mountain today. And God said to the prophets, prophesy to the mountains of the north and say to them, what did he mean? Go up to the rock and talk to them? No, talk to the kings of the nations and say, they will not defeat my country. And so they were things of authority. And the context of that story was a little boy who a demon wouldn't let go of him. So when Jesus said that you can cast out that mountain, he meant that demonic force, that authority.
That source of power.
Yeah, so it's important to know the whole story behind the story.
Okay, are you warmed up? I'm warmed up. And tomorrow will be our first official Truth to Go with Joe Amaral. Be there. And Joe, thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us again.